Hi everyone, it's Madera again. Congratulations on almost being done with finishing the verbal portion of your SAT practice. This is the last new thing that you're going to learn. I, of course, encourage you to practice and review everything that you've already learned, especially if you won't be taking the SAT for a month or two. But as far as new things go, this is the last one, so congratulations on making it this far. You're almost there. All right, so we're going to be focusing today on the SAT essay. Different than the college essay, which you're probably practicing right now with your virtual access coach. This is the essay that appears at the end of the SAT. So in this video, I'm first going to give you a little bit of an overview of that essay, and then we're going to do a practice one, kind of walking through together. Not going to write an essay, but going to come up with an outline and talk as much as we can in this video format about kind of how you might approach an example essay. All right, so the essay is optional. However, it's required by some schools, and it's completely free to add with your fee waiver, which you get through Let's Get Ready. And it's always the same format. You're going to be given a passage about a page, maybe page and a half long. And you're going to have to write an essay about that passage. So you're going to have to read the passage, explain how the author builds an argument to persuade an audience, and support that explanation with evidence from the passage. It's going to be those 3 steps every single time. So passage is always different, but the prompt is always going to be the exact same thing every time. There's an example of that prompt here that I'll read right now. So the prompt is always, write an essay in which you explain how the author builds an argument to persuade his or her audience that whatever the author's claim is. In your essay, analyze how the author uses one or more of the features listed above, or features of your own choice, to strengthen the logic and persuasiveness of his or her argument. Be sure that your analysis focuses on the most relevant features of the passage. Your essay should not explain whether you agree with the author's claims, but rather explain how the author builds an argument to persuade his or her audience. You'll see that that is the exact same prompt at the end of this practice, at the practice example. And you'll also see that if you do extra practice essays, which I'm pretty sure are required. If they're not required, I really recommend that you do. It's always the exact same. So you know when you walk in, that's what you should expect. So there are 3 different things that you're going to have to do to produce a good essay, and you are graded separately on those 3 things. So read, analyze, and write are the 3 things that you have to do. All right, so like I said before, we're not going to write an essay together right now, but we're kind of going to go through the steps so that hopefully at the end you have an outline for a sample SAT essay that you could write. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the outline. Ooh, okay, so your first paragraph is going to be your introduction. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, but I'm just kind of going to show you the general outline that seems to work from all of the SATs that all of the SAT essays that I've read. I really recommend going on Khan Academy and looking up. You can just do a simple Google search for SAT essays that work. And it'll give you the prompt, it'll give you the a few different essays, and it'll show you the scoring on that as well. So you can see what essays work and which ones don't. So I really recommend doing that to practice. And you'll see that most of them follow this general outline that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so 1 is the introduction. 2 is going to be body paragraphs. Oops. body, not boy, body paragraphs, and you're going to do 3 of those. Pretty much every single one I've seen that works has 3 body paragraphs. Oh, first I need to talk a little bit about what goes in the introduction. Okay, so the introduction is going to start with, like, you're going to talk about what the author argues, and then you're going to say, to prove this point, he or she uses this, this, and this. You're going to have the 3 things that are in your body paragraph, the 3 tools that you've picked out that the author uses. In your body paragraphs, each body paragraph is going to be devoted to a different tool that the author uses, and you want to have specific examples of when the author uses those tools. So that's why doing the second read through to look for those examples is super, super helpful, because that way you don't have to like go back and do like a 3rd or 4th read through just to find the evidence. You've already picked out the evidence and have it underlined, and you have it also written in the margins, hopefully. So the 3 body paragraphs with the tool, and then bits of evidence and analysis explaining how that evidence is an example of the tool. And I had something else to say about this. Oh yes. So when you're using evidence, you can do 2 things. You can either summarize or paraphrase an example of that tool that's used in the passage, or your other option is to do a direct quote. If you do a quote, you don't have to worry about citations like you do in an essay for school, because there's only one passage that you're drawing from. It's pretty clear what you're citing, so you don't need to cite that. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. All right, and then the 3rd thing is going to be your conclusion. Conclusions are generally super short. Again, I really recommend you read a few examples of ones that have worked. Generally, conclusions are like 2 or 3 sentences, though. They're super short. Introductions are usually pretty short, too. It's the body paragraph that like has kind of the meat of it. But a conclusion is kind of going to be like summarizing everything back up. And so hopefully at the end of this video, that outline is what you're going to have. All right. I need to move my face so that you can see it. Okay, and then the second bit. And then I'll move my face so that you can see the top. Okay. And then here is the prompt. Okay. So pause it, read it, and all right, so hopefully you've read the whole passage. Hopefully also you have written what you think is the author's argument. The argument, of course, is here. They say in the prompt what the argument is: to persuade his audience that natural darkness should be preserved. But you want to come up with a couple ways to say that in your own words. For example, what I had written down was that the argument is that the destruction of natural darkness is a problem that needs to be addressed. I think is kind of the main point. So write down what you think the main point is. And then when you're ready, read through again. So go back to the video and pause when I kind of scrolled through, or if it's in Lemma, then go ahead and do that. Read through a second time, and again, make sure you're annotating. I can show you again what mine looked like. It's super, super marked up with different examples of tools and rhetorical devices that the author uses to prove their point. So, if you need a refresher on rhetorical devices, maybe look up some of those before beginning. Otherwise, I recommend pausing this video again and going back through and doing your second read through to look for the tools that the author uses to prove their point. So pause the video and I'll see you back here in a second. And try to come up with at least 3 of those tools or devices. Okay, so I am going to, hopefully you were able to go through on your own and do a whole bunch of this, but I'm just going to go through some of what I found that I might use in an essay if I were presented with this on the SAT. This is by no means an exhaustive list. There is definitely a lot more rhetorical devices and tools that students have brought up to me when I was doing this in person with students. So there's a whole bunch more. If you came up with something that isn't on the list that I'm going to go through, totally fine. But I'm just going to go through a few examples of what I found that I might use on an essay. Let's talk now about how to turn this into an essay outline. And from there, I'm going to let you guys do your own essays. So, all right. So for an outline for this, I might start with just what I think the author's argument is. So you don't have to follow this layout for your outline. This is personally what works for me and what I would recommend. I would recommend doing something similar to this, but by no means you have to do this exact thing. All right, so the argument, which I might say is natural light, or natural darkness, that's what it is, should be preserved. Or like natural darkness like is an important but underrated part of nature that should be, or darkness is an, yeah, maybe I like that more. Component of nature that should be preserved. However you want to do it, there's a bunch of different ways to say this. And again, you might change what phrasing you like while you're writing it from your argument. But it's really nice to, since stating the argument is really essential, it's nice to come up with that argument early and in your outline, so that if you don't like the way that you phrase the argument, or if you realize like it doesn't really encompass everything, you can change that later. All right, and then paragraph 1. I'll just say P1, so I don't have to worry about spelling paragraph. So for paragraph 1, I kind of like this personal anecdote, so I'm going to say that. And what does it do? It's like relatable. It makes them relatable. It adds like a personal touch. So it makes the problem a little bit more personal. And it gives a like example of the personal benefit. And I'm going to add a couple quotes because these quotes I might like summarize. I probably wouldn't quote the entire first paragraph, but I might say in the first paragraph he talks about blah, blah, blah. But I'll say like first paragraph, and then this, even the northern lake. This return to the personal anecdote. So I might say that while I'm talking about the personal anecdote in the first paragraph, I may even sprinkle in the vivid imagery that happens in there. Make it surrounded by the personal anecdote, but say like personal imagery like adds to it. Maybe I should put that in my outline. Vivid imagery adds to personal anecdote. And then maybe for my second paragraph, I would do, let's say these statistics. I saw a lot of statistics. What does that do? That makes it credible. And he also has like a range of statistics from a different that are about different topics. So like he has these economic statistics that might appeal to someone who is more concerned about their wallet than about the environment. He has future statistics. The amount of light in the sky increases an average about 6% every year. He has, yeah, we'll just go with that for now. Some environmental statistics in pest control and the moths that pollinate 80% of the world's flora. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Okay, well, anyways, a few statistics. The ones that I want to use are the Save American Farmers. Oh my goodness. Billions. Oh, I cannot type today. And I want to use this increases in average, etc. So that, and then I would come up with a third paragraph, but I don't think we have to do that right now. So maybe come up with what third paragraph you would use. Well, actually, you should come up with an entire outline all yourself, but come up with an outline for this essay, and then I would recommend going ahead and writing it. This one maybe don't do timed, just to kind of see how it goes. And then there's another practice that you'll be doing. I would maybe recommend timing that one, or another one in the future. If you don't time that one, then maybe do another practice one later and time that. Make sure you read it, the passage, twice before you start your outline. Make sure you outline before you write it. Make sure you're annotating a whole bunch. And if you don't feel super comfortable with rhetorical devices and tools that authors use to convince readers of their point, I really recommend checking out lists available online that are specifically about rhetorical devices to talk about in the SAT. You can also talk to your virtual access coach if you need help with that. And I really recommend sending your outline or your SAT essay to your coach if you want to talk it through, talk about what you did well, maybe what you could work on, stuff like that. Also, before I end this video, I really quickly want to say that this is how you should outline and how you should write your essay for the SAT. This is in no way related to how you should write your essay for your college application. In fact, I would say they're completely opposite. This essay, you should never mention yourself. You should never say, I think blah, 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 blah. Remember, it's in the prompt right here. Your essay should not explain whether you agree with the claims. So you shouldn't be mentioning yourself in this essay. You definitely should in your personal essay for the Common App, and for your supplemental essays probably as well. You also probably should follow like a pretty set outline and structure for this essay. 5 paragraphs, again, is generally what I have seen that works well. And it with the same outline that I went over before. You definitely shouldn't do like just a standard 5-paragraph essay for your Common App essay. You'll want to do something a little bit more unique and creative. So again, this video was just about the SAT essay, not about your Common App essay. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I hope you kind of know what to do going forward with practicing for the SAT essay. And congratulations now to making it to the last mission in Lemma. Good job on all your hard work this summer. And good luck on the SATs. Bye.